Gary Wright, brought to you by the United States Army Reserve, and I'm Allison Steele, the night bird.
Well, they claim that you took me away. They claim that your love came down on me. They claim that you took me away. They claim you're to blame in changing me. I have changed since you came. I feel relieved. I feel strange. You have given me space to see what I mean. The flame of our love is high. I realize it's a mystery. You came and you saved my mind from the fear that was near when you rescued me. Everywhere I see jealousy in people's eyes. I don't care, 'cause your magical power has made me realize I'm feeling all our lives together. I'm feeling suddenly you came. I'm feeling stay with me forever. We can leave if we wanted today. Tomorrow we'd be on the other side, away from the judge's eyes. They can't deny we're not good for each other. Pain and sorrow and my empty past, I'm leaving behind. I know you know it too. Together alone, there's no in my mind. I'm feeling all our lives together. I'm feeling suddenly you came. I'm feeling stay with me forever. Well, they claim she took me away. But I know I'll
Gary Wright from his first solo album, and a beautiful one it is too, The Dream Weaver. And the only criticism of the album is that his eyes are closed, and he doesn't look half as good as he does sitting right across from me now. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
It's so nice to have you here, Gary. And I love the cover, of course. It serves its purpose. It makes you look like a dream weaver.
Yeah.
But does anybody ever get to know you on the street after this cover?
Well, there's a picture of me on the back.
That's true. There
Standing
is.
up.
Gary, you have quite a background in music. I don't suppose there are many people that don't know you were a Spooky Tooth, but in case they weren't, we'll tell them, okay?
All right.
Spooky Tooth, and what before Spooky? That's when I discovered you. I discovered
That was
you.
the first.
Was it? Because
band
I
I was ever in.
discovered you with Fresh Garbage. Wasn't that yours? No, that was Spirit. No, it was the 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus, actually. But that's also Spirit. I'm really doing great, aren't I? Okay.
You're throwing these names at me.
You know why?
Spooky 2 was the first
No,
album.
Spooky Tooth and Spirit are filed in the wall right next to one another, and it's an easy thing to confuse, and I love both of them.
Yeah.
But I got it now.
Spooky 2 was the first album that was really successful.
Well, but
Spooky
no,
2.
well, we've been playing Spooky Tooth since '66, '67, maybe '68, somewhere in there.
68.
And there were albums before Spooky Tooth.
There was one album before called It's All About. That was the very first one, but
Yeah,
that didn't really do.
I'm trying to think there was one cut on that very first album that was kind of a
Tobacco Road?
Yes, that was it. Yeah, that was what I call an FM, a turntable hit.
Yeah.
It was never, I would imagine, anything on the charts, but in FM circles, it was a very heavy number.
Uh-huh. And then there was Evil Woman.
Yes, yeah. Now you're bringing it all back to me. I don't know why I didn't remember the cuts. Maybe because I've been on vacation, and it's all the music is now out of my head, and it'll come back. The Spooky 2 was, though, the successful album that kind of made the group.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
I'm trying to think now just how many albums there were afterward, after Spooky 2.
I did 2 solo albums.
Right.
Called Extraction and Footprint on A&M.
And then you went back to Spooky Tooth.
Then I went back to
Yeah,
Spooky
thought
Tooth.
so. Yeah, it was kind of a reunion album with that kind of a name,
Yes.
wasn't it?
You Broke My Heart, So I Busted Your Jaw.
Busted Your Jaw, loved it. Wildfire on that one was just a dynamite cut.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, mine too. And then there was another long cut on that album that was awfully good too.
Mariah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember
yes,
you used
with,
to play
ooh,
I remember the first
that.
time I arrived in New York, and
Mhm.
I turned on the radio, and I heard Mariah, and you were on the air.
Yeah, and I said it was the best wind in the business, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good album.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, though, the 2 solo albums that you didn't make much of a mark. I hope I don't hurt your feelings.
No,
when
not
I
at
say
all.
that.
No, I know what you're saying. It's
Yeah. But
they
this
didn't-
one,
well, it's funny, you know how karma and career and all that goes, but I personally was happy with the albums, and they received a lot of very good and strong FM airplay. But I didn't really have a band together, and I wasn't over here promoting it, and I just released them as such.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, after having gone through that whole number again of getting a solo band together and living in England, I decided to go back to Spooky Tooth. But then as I evolved more as a keyboard player and really knew then what I wanted to do, I decided then to leave for good and do my own solo career.
What's happened quickly to the rest of the guys? Are they together or did they split?
No, they're all
it's just
doing different things.
Spooky Tooth was you, really, your name.
Yeah.
This album is so much superior to the other 2 solo albums that it is almost as if it's your first solo album. I mean, it's just a whole new Gary Wright.
I look at it as such because it's done on all keyboards, whereas the other ones weren't.
And it's a different. It's just the whole the feeling that the whole thing that you've created here is just. It's so today and it's so new. It's as if we don't know you from before, and the only real reference is the fact that you and Spooky were, such favorites with the FM people. I want to take a moment here, Gary, for a word from Army Reserve. The Army Reserve is made up of all kinds of people, men and women training to serve their country and using that training to help themselves and the communities they live in. They're serving their country in a strong backup force that is vitally necessary to our nation's defense. And while they train for their individual missions, many of these men and women are helping themselves in their civilian lives by learning brand new job skills or by sharpening skills they already have. And they're helping the communities they live in by putting their Army Reserve training to work to help solve all kinds of community problems. You can help them in this important work. You can help your country, your community, and yourself. You can join the Army Reserve. For more information, call the Army Reserve Center nearest you.
You earn when you serve in the Army Reserve, and part of what you earn is pride.
This This is the Night Bird, Allison Steele, for the United States Army Reserve, and our guest today, Gary Wright. Gary Wright from a lovely new album. I'm chuckling over nothing more than my foot's caught in the cord as I sit here trying to be very cool and nice. And Gary's sitting over there laughing at me. Gary, I have a favorite on this album, and two favorites actually, and I just wondered what you tell me first. I mean, what's the cut you think is most exemplifies what you're trying to do now?
I would have to say two, Love Is Alive and Dreamweaver.
Well, it's 50%. I say Dreamweaver in the cut that follows it.
Blind Feeling.
Blind Feeling,
I
I
like that
love,
as well.
yeah. But Dreamweaver has that, you know, of course, that it's a perfect segue to the Moody Blues, Threshold of a Dream.
Yeah.
Because it comes at the, you know, that really pretty thing there.
Yeah.
It really is a dreamy song, and it creates a marvelous mood.
Thank you.
Have your ideas about music or your way of life or something in your personal life changed with the advent of this album?
Only in my own personal confidence in my music. You know, I think I finally know what I want to do now. And I'm able to, I've evolved as such, where I can go into a studio now and basically do a whole album on my own, produce and arrange and do all the writing, singing, everything. So it's a feeling of evolution, I think, that I've evolved to a certain state.
And it does so come across, you know. I mean, it's just a whole different feeling. And I was hoping maybe you'd say something traumatic. Well, I took up meditation, or I'll go and do it.
I can mention one thing.
What?
I took EST. I don't know if you're familiar with that, EST.
Oh, it sounds terrible. We're going to get into that, but first I must pause here for a word from Army Reserve.
We were so young, we had no common name.
Even before we had a country, we had people who cared about it. After 200 years, the citizen soldier is still here, serving 1 weekend a month with the Army Reserve.
Citizens in readiness, Soldiers at the call. Citizen soldiers are still here.
For more information, call the Army Reserve Center nearest you.
I've just closed my eyes again, climbed aboard the Dreamweaver train, trying to take away my worries of today and leave tomorrow behind. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light. Fly me high through the starry skies, maybe to an astral plane. Cross the highways of fantasy. Help me to forget today's pain. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light. Though the dawn may be coming soon, there still may be some time. Fly me away to the bright side of the moon. Meet me on the other side. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light.
Gary Wright weaving a lot of dreams for a lot of people on this album. What's EST, Gary?
It stands for Earhart Seminar Training.
And is it kind of an awareness,
Yeah, it's
conscious raising, that kind of thing?
yeah, it is really. It's they say what it does is that it enables you to heighten and magnify your ability to experience life on a day-to-day basis. I mean, basically, what I found what it was is just a step toward greater self-realization.
How long does it take to get this est? Can you get an inoculation or swallow it in a
It's
pill?
2 weekends of training.
That's not bad. Is
Yeah.
that California or here in New York or
It
where?
started in San Francisco,
Yes.
and it's become incredibly popular. It's like it's been written up in Time magazine,
Yes,
Cosmo.
yes, I
Werner
read. Is that the
Erhard.
one where you sit on the hard benches and he yells at you and you think he's an awful person? You can't even leave the room for a call of nature. Is that the one?
You don't sit on hard benches.
Well,
you sit on nails.
Nails. Oh, okay. You're really building it up. No, but somebody said that a girl, I think, wrote it up in Time, and she said
Yeah.
you couldn't even leave the room to go to the bathroom.
Well, see, that's part of it, because what it does is putting you under circumstances like that. It breaks down all your defenses, and you can't run away from the things that you're there to look at. And it's good. I mean, to me, it's like a psychological enema.
Well,
You know what I mean? It's good. I mean, I think it's
a catharsis, absolutely.
It is.
If it did for you what I perceive in this album, then I think it's the best thing that ever happened to you.
I think what it did. I mean, I had written all the songs before I took the training and all
Yes.
that, but it gave me such an incredible surge of energy because I
Yes.
took the training just before I went in to do the album,
Oh, I'm so glad you did.
and I was just so up. You know, I was like,
You've given
really
me so many lovely evenings. You've started my show off with, what my feelings are about a lot of the cuts you've had, and Dreamweaver is just about as perfect an opening as I can get
Yeah.
for my flight.
Yeah.
Because it just, if you could just put one like that on every album, you'll
Yeah.
have a friend for life. You'll have me anyway. I have to take a moment here for a word from Army Reserve, Gary. Actually, it's a question. Did you know that there are thousands of women all over the country who are spending one very different weekend a month in the Army Reserve? They're serving in local units right in their own hometown, working at any number of interesting, challenging jobs that are helping their country and their community, jobs that can help build a career in civilian life, too. And they're earning a good, steady, extra income at the same time. You can join these women. You can choose from one of the hundreds of job training courses that are open to women when they join the Army Reserve. Of course, not every unit can offer you every job, but that interesting, challenging job that you're looking for just might be open right now. Find out by calling the Army Reserve Center nearest you. I think we have time for one more cut, happily, from Gary Wright.
I can see by the look in your face that you're thinking of me, and the words that you say in a play the sweet melody. I can hear what you tell me. You tell me your love isn't real, but it can't be until you realize it's something you feel.
Our guest today has been Gary Wright, and this is the Nightbird, Alison Steele, reminding you that in the Army Reserve, part of what you earn is pride.